Fuck.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, you sounded... Oh, Tom's not here. And who do we have for our third guest? No one?
Nobody.
Oh, man.
We asked all 7 people we know.
And, yeah, it wasn't going to happen, was it? I don't know. It's like New Coke, like an MHP classic, or it's like...
Where it's worse.
Yeah, right?
Right. Okay, welcome to the Sam and Kevin exclusive.
Yeah, this is a...
You just only get us this episode.
This is a Patreon exclusive where we forgot to make a Patreon.
Right. Yeah, I gotta say, man, coming to the end of our
Life?
weeks of well, yeah, you and I aren't long for this earth, but coming to the end of our weeks without Tom, I'm starting to miss the boy.
Yeah. It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah, I miss his rosy cheeks and his uncanny ability to understand plots of really terrible movies.
It helps.
Yeah, it hurts sometimes
Yeah.
too. So
Speaking of enemas,
oh, okay.
our movie this week was
The biggest enema we've ever experienced.
really cleaned me out for sure.
Uh-huh.
The Bronx Executioner. Bronx Executioner, and then the title, and then you said on IMDb or Wikipedia or whatever, The Bronx Executioner.
Yeah.
So at some point, the got left off on this release.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think this graphic designer could handle any more on this.
Well, he said, I filled this space to capacity.
I literally cannot fit any more on this. As his boss has like a finger in his mouth, like, motherfucker. And he's like, I can't.
So our movie opens with a monologue about New York in the future and how there's a portion of the Bronx that's inhabited by humanoid
Robots.
All right. Before it goes any further, what's the year?
Oh, that dated it real quick.
The movie is some guy being sent to the Bronx, heavy quotation marks.
You know, the jungle of the Bronx.
To be the sheriff of the Bronx.
Robot Bronx.
He's basically a robot shepherd because the only things in the Bronx are poor people, robots, and androids.
Yes.
And they're all fighting over a helicopter that sometimes drops them cans of worm food.
Yes.
He's like the one cop in their neighborhood. It's so stupid.
Yep. He's not the one cop. We have the other cop. What's his name?
A black cop.
Seriously, Sam, what's his name?
His name was Black Guy.
Okay, Sam, that's very racist. What do they call him in the movie? What's his character name?
They call him Black Man.
They do call him Black Guy. That's...
I know you, black man.
So anyway, he meets up with Black Cop. Black Cop trains him.
Sure. Is it like a passing of the badge kind of thing?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so. He's like sent to replace Black Cop.
Yeah, he's like, this is your land now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's happening.
Yes.
And then elsewhere in Italy,
Bronx, Italy.
a woman in a cocktail dress gets an effeminate biker gangman to use his gang to root out other people who they shoot
Yes.
in a quarry.
Yeah. So that was the first big confusing moment in this movie of we have humans, we have humanoids, and we have androids. How do we tell them apart?
You know.
You don't. There's literally fucking put like a computer chip on their forehead or on the side of their face.
Literally anything.
Anything.
And apparently, according to the back of the box, there's the humanoids are robots, and then there's androids. And the androids look down on the robots, and the robots are sided with the humans?
Sure.
Were there even any humans there, or were they just shooting robots?
Was our main actor human? It's left ambiguous,
dude?
like...
The buff dude is a
No,
robot.
no. Not Harrison Ford.
Dude, the buff guy...
Not buff guy. I'm talking about not Harrison Ford, our main actor.
Oh, who cares?
It's left ambiguous, like the real Blade Runner.
He's a human or something. The movie didn't think about a lot.
There's literally only one reveal of who's who, and it's at the very end when he like rips the person's neck. That's fun.
Some kind of massacre.
Yeah.
The movie forgets about that pretty quick. And then buff dude is fighting over a bunch of tin cans. And then cocktail dress lady sends some bikers, and they have a fight.
Yes.
We don't know who wins. Nobody gets any food.
We know
Black cop beats them all up for some reason.
Yeah, he pretends he's like injured or something, even though they fully saw him be like, watch this, and then go into acting mode. Like,
Yeah.
of course they're not going to believe him.
And then he beats them up, but I don't know why he did that.
I don't know.
Because they were just trying to get food,
Yes.
and then the bad guys presumably came over on the motorcycles and beat the shit out of them, but they bested the bad guys.
So
they were going to get food, and then the cop just comes over and beats them up.
yeah. But
And then the one guy goes to Beefcake and says, yeah, we didn't get any food. And he's like, why didn't you get any fucking food? We need the food. We're hungry.
Yeah, the robots beat you up? And he's like, no,
He's
not
like,
the robots.
No, we beat him up. And then, he's like, what happened? He's like, well, the black guy came over and beat the shit out of us. Why would you hurt the black man? He's like, we didn't hurt the black man. He hurt us.
He hurt us.
Punched us.
Yeah.
We couldn't get our cans of dog food.
Yep.
It just didn't make any sense.
No, it really didn't. In the training sequence, I was trying to give this movie too much credit. You're too much of a bad movie veteran, I think, for me.
We've been through this together. You
yeah.
should know.
I'm just trying to hold on to that little bit of hope left in my life.
That these people who make these things are competent.
That someone in the movie suggests like a setup and then something called a payoff. Anything, any sort of character growth, nothing.
I don't think anyone even had an arc.
No.
No, not Harrison Ford had a right angle.
I think it was just a very...
He went from, I'm not going to help, to, I'm helping now.
Now I am helping.
Yeah.
He threw his car into reverse on the freeway and then just, like, started going back. Well, they spent 18 minutes with him hanging on the edge of a ledge with Black Guy being like, you might find yourself in this situation. You need to be better about moving your hands.
He's like, you're a pussy. Eat pussy, pussy.
We sat and argued about it. I thought at the end of the movie that was going to
It's
happen.
going to have some payoff.
Something.
Man.
Anything.
That was just...
A scene because
Well,
someone
I think
saw
that was
it.
one of many scenes that was also played for time. Because they were doing that for an uncomfortable amount of time.
A lot of padding in this movie.
So the training montage happens, and then Buff Guy is looking for someone in particular from the massacre.
Yes, lady.
We'll call her Rape Bait.
Well, spoilers.
So anyway, Rape Bait managed to
Escape
run
somehow?
away.
Yeah,
Sure.
Something, a character we didn't know about, we haven't seen.
She's there for plot reasons.
For rape reasons.
Rape reasons.
Yeah. Which is my least favorite hardcore band.
Yeah.
Oh, is Rape Reasons opening? Yeah, I'll show up late to the show.
Shit.
It's fine.
When do the doors open? 8? I'll be there at 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rape Reasons.
Gets raped. Shocking.
Yeah. And yeah, she just gets raped.
I said it during our discussion or our watch that this was the Crossbones squeal like a pig.
Yes.
But the thing about that was we were loving Crossbones up
Yeah.
until that point. That's why that hurt so much because it brought the movie
Yeah,
way down.
right.
This was hovering somewhere, and then the rape happened, and it just kind of deflated the little bit we kind of were enjoying it.
I think this movie lasted because it was so incomprehensible, which is a form of engaging
Yes.
that I'm willing to sit through.
Yes.
And it delivered. It barely knew what it was doing, and we definitely didn't know what it was doing.
When the movie is challenging you, sometimes
Yeah.
we give up. And we're like, fuck this, we don't care.
Right.
This was a movie we like kind of put up our dukes and we're like, all right, bring it on. I want to figure out what the fuck's going on. I need
Yeah,
to...
it was engaging on that front, but it didn't have any goodwill because it was a head scratcher. You know, like a good movie with like
No, I've never seen a good movie.
suspense or plot twist or something like
Sure,
that.
sure.
Makes you think. This movie makes you think because it was so poorly executed.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there dumbfounded, like, why did that happen? But my point is, it didn't have any goodwill going into the rape, like
No.
you said. But it also wasn't as spooky or as jarring as the squeal like a pig moment. And
Because...
maybe because let's face it, it's an Italian just trash movie, and they always have some kind of like, the really bad ones always have some kind of rape scene in them just to get like tits in the movie.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, it just didn't affect me as much as the squeal like a pig thing did.
In this, it felt like it was like rehearsed. And
Yeah, and he was having sex, but he wasn't really, because and they both had their pants on still.
Yeah. He like pulled out and then like pretended to zip up. And it's like, you were zipped up
I
the
don't
whole
even think he
time.
pretended to zip up. I think they just denied the fact that he was ever had his cock out.
Rape bait gets shot.
Yeah.
And then that sends off beef droid,
Yes,
like his
Beefbot.
Beefbot. Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
the alliteration.
Yeah, like his Beefbot senses start tingling, and he knows like she's dead.
He sees her crumpled corpse.
I was gonna say he walks like 8 feet, and he's like, yeah, duh, I was right, as he's like looking at her.
I really like how all the boroughs in New York are known for a certain like resource that they mine. Like Manhattan's obviously gold,
Yeah.
and Queens is
Diamonds, I think.
No, Queens is like copper. Like
Okay.
It's more expensive than you think it is.
Yeah,
but
it's been a while since I've went to New York and
toured the
the mines of New York.
The Bronx is just like, I don't know, sheetrock. It's like
the big moment I wanted to talk about was not Harrison Ford like doesn't pass the test. Black guy. Black guy is like, you fucked up, you're not good, go home, get married, like this isn't for you. He goes back to his office with like the sad little New York poster behind him and the fan. It's like the worst fan. Bums out. He mopes. Falls asleep. We get the like Wayne's World. The like. He wakes up.
Yep.
I guess.
And the rest of the movie is a dream.
Or he goes into dreamland.
Yep.
It's never explained.
The rest of the movie is just a really good dream of him being the hero.
Yeah, because he reads out loud a letter. No, he doesn't read out loud. We get the voiceover.
Yeah, and the black guy, full 180. He went from like, you stupid fucker, go home, fucker, to...
You did just fine, and I'm proud of you. Your reflexes are first rate, and you're in perfect shape. But what made me happiest was your will to win.
You're amazing. You passed. You above and beyond.
You're ready. You're an amazing physical specimen. It's like somebody else wrote it. Like, they just needed to take the black man out.
So all of a sudden, now he's sheriff of Italy, New York, Brooklyn.
Of the rock quarry.
Yeah. Now that he is sheriff.
Oh, and also, it should be pointed out that the rest of the movie is a deluded dream of his, like a fever dream.
Or is it? If only the visual language of cinema could tell us what was going on.
You didn't earn it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Beefbot finds Sheriff somehow.
Yeah.
And is like, hey, help me avenge the rape.
I think Sheriff just closes his locker, turns around, he's like, bah! Yeah. Beefbot's just standing there like a lump.
Yeah.
And Beefbot, it should be mentioned, the man who acted Beefbot had his teeth super glued together.
Every scene of him talking is just him like jaw clenched, just like these motherfuckers in this movie.
But like big teeth. It's not like clenched like you're.
It's theater acting, but it's just the lower half of his face.
Yeah.
It's for the back row, but it's just his lips.
Yeah, it's theater acting if your teeth were super glued together.
Exactly.
I don't know why they did that to that man, but they decided it was part of his character.
I guess.
Also, the man who acted in the movie probably was also the man who did the English dub of his character.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Because his voice acting was the worst shit.
I told you, you touched my sheriff. You touched my sheriff, I'll kick your filthy ass. I'll do anything you want, man. Hear me?
Yes, that guy.
I can't hear you. Louder.
Yes, that guy.
It's bitter.
You know that kid in like math class that never did the homework? If that kid had a voicing role in a motion picture.
Well, do you remember in like middle school or even like early high school when you would go around the room and like read?
Yeah.
And it got to the one kid and everyone silently was like, fuck. Like, we're going to be here forever.
Yep.
And like,
that was me, by the way. I was that kid. And every time it happened, cold sweats. Like the back of your neck soaking wet just.
Would you do the thing where you would read ahead to your spot so you could practice a couple times?
Oh my God, I would try, but I couldn't read. So it's just like, what do I do?
You get like 4 words. You're like, I fucking got these first 4 words.
Well, because reading ahead would imply that I knew how to read. Yeah, and then when it got to me, just the stillest air. And the teacher,
Sam,
with that
slow
high
blink.
School teacher contempt, like, are you gonna
go?
Go? Yeah, but anyway, so I'm the voice actor apparently. Sure.
Well, in that case, I thought you did a tremendous job, and we're all very proud of you, Sam.
Thank you.
She was raped and killed.
Sorry, Dakar. What do you want us to do?
Get together and wait for my instructions.
What do you have in mind?
I can't explain right now, and do what I tell you.
So Sheriff and Beefbot team up to take down these bad robots.
Sure.
And they
do that. They're androids, so they're the ones that are more humanoid.
Sure.
But I think the biker gang that's working for the lady. The lady's an android.
Yes.
The biker gang is robots or something because she talks down to the one guy who wants to fuck her.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're nothing. Fuck you."
You'll never. And then immediately afterwards, after he's like, "Hey, I want to have sex with you," she's like, "Haha, no, never." Walks into a room and immediately strips.
Or starts to have sex with some other guy. So anyway,
They
Beefbot and Sheriff decide
and
to
his
team
little
up.
gang go to the compound that
Like
they're all located
a
at.
winery
Yeah.
in Italy.
And then that's the last hour and 20 minutes of the movie. Like, is them
Yes.
slowly wandering around this abandoned winery.
And it should be mentioned again because it happens a lot during the 35-minute action. Well, action in the big, thickest, goopiest air quotes you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
They started reusing footage like
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker during this scene.
Great. We use
No
that to your
more stick.
advantage. Jesus. We're so close to hitting 88. And then the movie's going to just be like, "Oh, we're done." And then,
Like mid-scene.
yeah. I liked his little follow through.
Same shit.
It's the exact same shot.
Shit. Same exact shit.
Same shot. You make nipples mad.
That's the same shit too. That's the same shit too. Oh, there was that one scene where the dog is attacking Beefbot,
Oh, that's an adorable sequence.
and they're hugging, and she's coming. Yeah. That scene should be mentioned. That was another one of the that scene and many others like it are like, what is going on? And I think that is the entertainment value, for lack of a better word.
Well, there's a lot of you can tell what they were either trying to do or what the director wanted to do.
Yeah.
Again, fucking Beefbot takes on these robot dogs and but of course it's just these big derpy dogs with these little robot parts on their collar. And
Right.
all the dogs want to do is just eat and get pets.
Yeah, get snuggles.
So he has to snuggle him
Yep.
with his mouth off camera so we can add in a scary dog noise. So we'll wrap up. Eventually, of course, good guys win. Beefbot rips off lady's head or gentleman's head. I forget. That's fun.
The only time in the movie that it's ever really drilled into our head visually that they're robots.
Him and Sheriff are like, "Oh, that was neat." And then we see main bad woman turning the corner. He goes
Yep.
"No!" and then takes a bullet. And
Yeah.
then Sheriff shoots lady. She dies. That's it. That's how our main villain dies. And then we get that Beefbot laying on the ground, and for whatever reason, his face smushed up into
Yeah.
the top third.
Like somebody, God just came down and pressed his thumb against his whole head and kind of mushed it against the ground.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Did we do good?" And he's like, I don't know. I don't know who's who's what.
I don't know who won, really. You all are dressed the same.
And then he dies, closes his eyes. Sheriff walks off camera. Camera pans up, teleports about 600 feet.
Yep.
And then walks off into the distance between these
To
two
the
buildings.
worst-
To the worst end shot I've ever seen in a
Of
movie.
any movie I've ever seen, yeah.
Was it worse than Dragon Wars, that final?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the movie, Kev?
Man, there were little spikes of what? And yay.
And there was some laugh.
Yeah.
Some being the operative word.
Yeah, the bad dubs were always fun. I was always waiting for dialogue to see
Yeah.
how bad
Throughout
it
the
was.
movie, you definitely were like, all right, it got me back.
Can I ask you a question, Warren?
Keep it to yourself, James. Take my advice. Quit while you're alive.
I want that sheriff's badge. I can't wait to start.
That big old badge ain't easy to get. You'll have to go through hell to get it. And from what I've seen of you, it looks like you'd melt on a warm day on the beach, son.
Show me.
It wasn't boring. It
No.
was just bad.
It was interesting in the meta sense.
Yes.
And that's when like it stops being a movie and starts being an autopsy. Like
Yeah.
we're studying it.
Yes.
As opposed to enjoying a bad film. We enjoyed The President's Man for the bad film it was.
Right. I think you're right. I think it was looking at a dead body in a medical sense.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, it's a fucking dead body. Like, there's a lot to parse there. But in a clinical setting of like, yes, it's supposed to be dead. No, it wasn't murdered and dropped there. Like, we brought it in. Mm-hmm. It was interesting, but kind of gross and scary, but also couched in kind of this, oh, it's one of these movies.
What were we calling it? Spaghetti Blade Runner, basically?
Yeah.
Fork Jogger or something
Fork
like
Jogger
that.
was one.
Spoonwalker.
Spoonwalker.
Yeah.
That's it. So, Kevin, what would you give Spoonwalker?
Oh, man. I wanted to love this just because the DVD case is a work of art.
And the hilarious low budget.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's called Bronx Executioner, but they give up any notion of trying to convince the audience that they're in the Bronx almost immediately.
Pretty much. It's great. In a vacuum, the meta, the concept of it is fantastic, and I was really excited when you picked it. But no, it wasn't worth $1. I feel like whatever low number I give it, because the dissection was fun. But again, sitting here watching a movie with you is always going to be worth $1.
Yeah,
So
no, you can't.
The movie itself, no, 15 cents.
Sure.
No, I'll give it a quarter. Quarter's fine.
Okay. You know what also I think should be mentioned? It is a much different vibe, just you and me.
Yeah.
A lot less energy in the room.
Sure.
So I think it might have been a mixture of that. Not that you and I don't have a good time, but
No.
you and I, just you and me, we were vibing, just chilling. You know what I mean? It
was
saying a thing here or there. We weren't like yelling at the screen.
No.
It's a very kind of calm affair.
I would also say this movie helped because, again, something like a gunman, something like a President's Man, get it, we get it. But this was so bizarre, we were trying to understand it.
Yes.
So we could have spent the whole time being like, oh, this is crazy.
Talking and catching up.
But I wanted to understand it.
Right. So that was in its favor for sure. But the movie itself...
Again, it's so hard to judge the movie and then the meta-ness of it. You either have to separate it or intertwine it. Because I have two different scores for both.
Yeah. So I would give it...
Before you do that, I wanted to pitch an idea to you. 2 rankings.
Okay.
The movie itself and then the like meta experience. Because I have 2 drastically different prices.
So like as a deconstruction.
Yes.
So the movie-going experience, the movie itself, 25 cents. We got some chuckles.
Yes.
But as far as...
Because I would agree with you on 25 cents. But in terms of watching it with that mindset of
like, this is an Italian ripoff movie.
understanding what they're trying to go for on top of literally being like,
Their
what are they
crazy
trying to
decisions.
go for? Yeah.
So you're asking for like an academic score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if you were to write a research paper, I would say I'd give it $1 for that. Because it was really weird.
That's why I wanted to put a second thing, because if you're literally sitting down with like popcorn and like your girlfriend and be like, let's watch this movie, and you know nothing about it, avoid it. But if you like bad movies and you like the dissection of movies and you can find it for $1, I would, yeah. It's a weird meta. The experience of the movie is different than just experiencing the movie, if that makes sense.
On that note, though, I would say that there are better movies that will scratch the analytical itch.
Oh, for sure. We've watched better analytical movies.
Yeah. But it was fascinatingly bad. And it wasn't boring. Boring is not the word I would use to describe it. And I also enjoyed that it wasn't, other than the rape.
We forgot to mention later in the movie, they just rewatched the rape scene.
That's right.
That's
another one of
fun.
those weird decisions that you're like, what are you doing?
And again,
that was the whole scene. Yeah. Literally, 4 people walk into a room while the main bad lady is jilling herself off to watching a rape. And then she's like, well, I'm tired now. And then goes to bed.
So violence is the best aphrodisiac anyone can get.
Rape?
Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
We just rewatched the whole scene.
Yeah.
okay, we get she's watching the rape because she's bad. And then it keeps going. And she keeps watching it.
Right, and they're padding for time.
So
there's a lot of meta things in there of they're padding for time. They want to squeeze all the value out of that rape scene as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Like there were tits, for God's sakes. We're getting our
Of course we're
going
to show
God
this.
damn it. Like this is the titillation. This is why people are here. You're right, Kev. I'm glad you distinguished between the actual film and the meta narrative.
The autopsy, yeah. We don't have to do this for every movie. It's just this was such a weird unicorn of...
bafflingness. And it felt like an alien was tasked with two things. Creating a film that people would watch and making as much money as possible.
With as low of a budget as possible.
And as little time to figure out humanity as possible. So they had like a month to do some research. And then this is what they came up with. Yeah. And I don't know whether it was successful. I mean, we paid $1 for it. So
you know, we don't work in the movie industry. We don't know if like 3 times a day, some like, what's the dude from Men in Black? Like Edgar?
Yeah.
Looking motherfucker walks in and goes, I would like movie, please. And it's like, no, get out. Get out, space alien. I've seen this shit. But like this is someone's first day is like, I own a studio now. And then I would like direct movie, please and thanks. And it's like, you got it. I'm so excited someone walked in. And like, this is what happened.
And it's all where you walk in. Like if you walked into Hollywood like that, they'd be like, get out of here, you foreign fuck. Unless you're a Scientologist. Fuck off. But you walk into some Italy studio and you're like, may have movie make, please. And they're like,
yes.
Sure.
What's your movie? I watched the Blade Runner and
they made the Max.
And they made the Max Terminator.
And I love humanity. Yeah. Yes.
No plans to destroy you.
Yes, I am not recording this conversation.
How do you feel about women? Destroy them sexually. Awesome, let's do it.
The Italian directors saw the rape and they were like, Italian producers rather. They were like, this is going to put butts in seats.
Yeah, it's going to make all the spaghetti fall out of their pockets. Is that racist?
I don't know. I think we had this conversation earlier where Italians are just zestier white people, so it might be okay. Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad we agree.
Well, all this coming from the 2 least zesty white people that have ever existed.
I think we're a little spicy. We're like mom energy spicy. Only if you said like, ooh, like a lot. That like fun mom like, do you want to go see REO Speedwagon with me? You little like that's Sam. If we like into one person, you want to watch an old Queen DVD? You little
little fuck boy.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later.
Okay, mom.